attack, fast fatal heart impact, past painful scars. In fact, I blast tasteful bars and packs. I back up my actions, fact don't ask, grab reactions, jacked attack with every word, then act with class as they hear me snap. I got nothing to lose, cause I fought and felt the bruise. Now I'm not the one confused, call the shots and they produce. I ain't lost, I'm finally loose, pick a new silver excuse. I need the views to boost me to a new abuse of being used. Everybody wants a piece now, y'all can rest in peace now. You're dead to me, so peace out. Remember, you're discreet out. Get ready for defeat now.
Alrighty. Hello everybody. This is Kirusho here. And now, whenever we last left off with Izuku Midoriya, he has just gotten back his, well, I want to say his Punisher Buster, or his own designed Hulk Buster suit. Now, along with that, he has also begun to modify it, and over the course of a few weeks, him modifying it and actually upgrading it a bit, putting weapon systems in it, and actually, well, surprise surprise, putting in holy weaponry, he was able to get that done. And with that time passing and him doing all this stuff, he was able to find a place at UA to hide it. Now, where exactly did he hide it at UA? Well, let's just say that he hid it, well, underground basically. He dug a hole close by to the UA dorms, and he covered the hole with a hatch, basically. All you would need to do is run over and look around for it. Where you find a small gap, you'd be able to simply just throw over. All the dirt and stuff that would go flying over would reveal this ginormous suit. Now, after Midoriya hid it, we do have what's been going on in this amount of time. Momo and Todoroki. Their relationship looks like it has gotten closer. Along with that, Midoriya, he has tried talking with everyone. The entire thing about Momo killing her father, she can't do it. She's thought about it before and simply cannot pull that trigger. She can help him as much as she can. However, when it comes to this is too much. Now, with that being said, Midoriya, he is getting ready. May was able to convince Mr. Shield that she needs somebody to come with her to help transport this heavy equipment. And she was able to actually get a +1 invitation. So she gave it to Midoriya, and Midoriya will be posing as one of the kids from their school. Now, with that being said, Midoriya and May do go over to Island. Midoriya is disguising himself as one of the kids from the support course. And May, she's simply just happy to spend time with Midoriya. Now, Midoriya, he is going overseas to hang out with May at Island for probably the next week and a half, most likely. You do have Todoroki, who has taken on a vigilante role. He is doing exactly what Midoriya does. He'll go around and take down villains. In fact, he is trying to work hard. With Midoriya basically gone for a minute, people would be suspicious if the Punisher suddenly just disappeared. So he's trying to keep up the illusion. Now, while Todoroki is doing that, you also do have Ibara and Momo, along with Bakugo. Bakugo has yet to inform Midoriya that he's not the only one going to Island soon. In fact, Bakugo was barely even made aware of this until Midoriya had already left. And All Might basically got him distracted. trying to talk with him about giving him one for all. Bakugo, yeah. Him thinking that he can get stronger, he can protect everyone. That was something he wanted to do. That was something that would help him. And he agreed with All Might, taking on the quirk and beginning to train. Now, with that being said, you also do have, well, everyone else. They've already gone through some more of the training. They had to move up the Pussycats training and have already gone through it. Right now they're going to go to the island. Some people say that they're simply just going to go to relax. Other kids in Class 1A have already said that they're not going to go. The thing is a bit more pricey, and simply just going there would be very annoying. Now, with that being said, whenever they do get to the island, they do land on a private airstrip. Basically, David Shield's personal airstrip. And they do get everything unpacked. Whenever Melissa and David Shield do walk up and see the plane, they see Mei Hatsume and her friend get out of the plane. Now, after that does happen, Midoriya, him and Mei get the equipment and get it loaded onto the, well, I wouldn't call it a crane or even a pulley system. They load it onto a robot and/or device David brought out to carry the stuff. He invented it within the last few days, and he wanted to test it out. Mei's equipment proved exactly how heavy all the stuff was. Now, the robot did begin to move and take it. Mei brought the former suit design, the current suit she's working on, and the exoskeleton. Basically, somewhere around, completely combined, roughly I want to say, a ton of metal to almost 22 to 2,500 pounds. Now, with that being said, Mei and Midoriya do settle in after their plane ride. And they do go down to the lab to see exactly what Mr. Shield said he was working on. Whenever they do find out what it is, or find Mr. Shield, they're shocked. Whenever he uncovers and displays this battery, his daughter, she's been working on her own projects, but she's helped him with this. And he's been working on his little secret project for All Might. Now, this is whenever David Shield reveals that he's created something that he calls a mini reactor. Now, it looks relatively the size of, well, it's just as wide and around the size of a laptop, laying down. But exactly how tall it is, it looks as tall as a brick. Now, Mr. Shield reveals that this is the battery. And that basically this should last a very long time. It looks like a backpack. And this is whenever Midoriya and her comment on that. Mr. Shield revealing that it does. But this backpack, as they call it, quite simply compared to the regular batteries that she may already be using, if they are this brand, this brand, and this brand, yeah. This battery is over 150,000 times more efficient. And they believe that they may have been able to reach sustainability and/or self-sufficient. It took many tries and a long time. The amount of funding put into it was intense. And he believes that this will be one step closer to sustainable energy. Now, With that being said, this is whenever they do begin to work on the suit. And basically, May gets the battery hooked up to it and does design it, beginning to redesign the suit to hold the actual ginormous thing. The way it is, you can simply just put it on your back, and or keep it connected to the plate right there. Now, with that being said, that does mean that they do go through redesigns, modify schematics, and all other things. And with that happening, Midoriya, he does begin to help, going over certain things and doing what he can, along with actually beginning to redesign his own schematics. He is sitting there drawing, and actually eating lunch. Surprisingly, May was able to get time off from school by simply just having his invitation to High Island. And not only did Powerloader decide that, hey, Aizawa may have been right against something, he can do his class any way that he wants. And this opportunity for Mei Hatsume, it's going to be big. So he allowed her time off. He did have to talk with Nezu about it, but Nezu agreed, thinking that if one of their students does actually do this, or at least is shown in a positive light for a while, then it can help their image. It wasn't really a very personal reason, but it was somewhat good. It was a win for both Yue and Hatsume, so they agreed. Now, when Midoriya is drawing, he does begin. He draws a bigger, bulkier version of the suit, and he is drawing a skull on the chest. As he's drawing the skull, he's not even paying attention. And whenever he does take a bite of his sandwich, someone does actually tap him on his shoulder. As soon as he looks up to see them, they ask him about his designs. They look, well, different and odd. Midoriya quickly just throwing his hand up and slamming the book closed, saying that those are his personal sketches. Hey, I wasn't judging. Sorry. It's just, I'm used to Hatsume doing that, and you're not her. Yeah, the name's Melissa. You've met my father already. And I believe that's, well, yeah. We haven't had proper introductions. May I talk to you about those, though? Sure. What do you want to know about them? Well, it looked pretty good. Up until the skull. Yeah. It's kinda... Well, it's kinda just to mess around with, you know? Aesthetically pleasing. I was kinda just thinking about what's going on back at your hometown? Yeah, the Punisher. I've heard about him. A lot of people thought he was quirkless, right? Do you know anything about that? No. Why do you ask me? Well, word around your guys' town was that he slowed down. Yeah, about that. You know, hmm. Are you a fan of the Punisher? Why are you asking me that? Well, it's just a question. I mean, statistically, he's lowered crime rates and, well, stopped a lot from happening. And how has he stopped that? By murdering people. Yeah, and most people call that bad. So you're saying that you support a killer? Well, it's a bit more complicated than that. I mean, well, fine. Yes, I support the Punisher, but he's a bit more confusing. I've never seen a quirk like his. Really. And what do you know about his quirk so far? Well, angelic wings, from what All Might said, strength, speed. I believe regeneration. It's not a possibility I've seen thrown out there yet. Since I think a lot of people said that they've seen him heal from a gunshot wound to the head? At least, it makes sense if Izuku Midoriya survived it. Interesting. Anything else? Well, there's a running theory as to why he finds someone guilty. Many people think he's like a bloodhound. He can smell sin. Really? Is that your theory? What? No, it's gotta be different than that. So, what would you do if the Punisher was sitting here in this room right now? Well, I'd probably thank him for trying to keep the place safe. Alright. Just wanted to know. Why, do you know Izuku Midoriya? You could say that. Anyways, I'll see you later. Now, that's Midoriya. He walks away. And when they do go back to the lab, they finish doing what they're doing. They completely redesigned the suit, got it up and working, and they're doing their test flight today. They got the entire Mark 1, actually no, not Mark 1, Mark 2 design done. Now, technically this is their Mark 3. However, I'm saying Mark 2 because I'm referring to the Iron Man suit. Now, with that being said, this is whenever David Shield does actually want to test it out. However, he gives that honor to Mei Hatsume. The suit does look a bit bigger and bulkier, and I don't think I have a pic of it right now. But, basically, the entire premise of it is let us see if this thing will at least get off of the ground. Now, Mei does get into the suit, and after they do get things booted up and actually set up, the thing is remarkable. It's a blending of technology. It's Mei Hatsume and Deku's designs, along with the technical advancements of David Shields. And, from what David might have said, roughly, possibly a couple $1,000,000, or at least a couple 100,000. And, well, they tested out. Mei simply doing a flight test first, being able to go at 1% thruster power, and build up from there. Now, once she is airborne, and she does go through a sky roof or a skyline, they watch and actually do get Mei to fly around the area. Mei flying past and overhead, everyone in the park. Now, after she does that, she does have a bit of a test herself. This thing is amazing and it's awesome. And this is a whole new thing. Simply just asking Midoriya, saying his fake name, if he does want to give this a shot. Midoriya simply just says no. However, that's whenever Mei says fine, saying that she does want to do an altitude test. And David does actually warn her against that. Going that high up in the air, it would be a very serious problem. And they don't know exactly what the effects that sort of altitude would have on the suit. Mei is too eager, and she flies straight up. Now, whenever she does head up high enough, she begins to run into that little icing problem. As soon as it starts, yeah, she might as well be done for. And this is whenever David does try and get into contact with her. The speaker and other things in the suit all went out. And that means that the power is off. Both of them theorizing, along with being able to actually find Mei's location with a tracker. She is, well, let's say about somewhere around 40,000 to 50,000 feet. And she's falling fast. Now, Midoriya, he asks them if they have any way of getting her, or at least saving her life. And David and Melissa themselves begin to freak out. And Midoriya, he's simply just thinking, there has to be a way for her to stay safe. There has to be a way to figure all of this out. And this is whenever they find it out. She's already at 2,700 or 1,000 feet. And she's building up more speed. Midoriya just saying that he's sorry, and that they're probably not going to like what he's about to do. Both of them watch as Midoriya takes off running, and he jumps up into the sky. They didn't think that that boy can leap that far. Then wings come out of his back, and Midoriya begins to fly up. As he's flying up, Mei is flying down. And Midoriya, he does eventually catch up to Mei. Whenever he does try and grab her, he's able to hit the suit. However, it dinged off of him. And Midoriya was able to at least knock off some of that ice and frost, while Mei is still desperately trying to hit the emergency flaps. Things do come back on, and David is screaming at her to simply try and balance out. Balance out. Try and do anything. And Midoriya does fly after her. As soon as he does catch up to her, they're roughly at 18,000 feet. And Midoriya pulls onto the flap. As soon as he does that, this is whenever all the ice basically just burst off the suit. And Mei is able to turn on the thrusters, being able to focus again, before opening the faceplate, and taking a deep breath, along with yelling at Midoriya that he can't be serious. Why did he do that? Me, what are you doing? Enough, you two. Now, I would please allow you to come down here. I would like an explanation as to why the Punisher is here, let alone why you are posing as a student. Alright, shit. Now, once the two do come down, Midoriya begins to talk with David Shields, who is contemplating calling the authorities. Now, along with that you do have Melissa. She herself is freaking out. People might have seen Midoriya here, and if they see Midoriya here, that means that they're going to think that the Punisher is working with them, and all this other legal stuff. Now, with that being said, after one brief explanation as to why he's here, he is asked several questions, especially about his weird mutation. And Midoriya does spill it, simply just rapidly pulling out two guns, and saying that it's quite simple. Now, David Shield is surprised, thinking that he must be guilty for creating that technology. And Midoriya tells him that he's not guilty. However, he is here because he wanted to help Mei finish the suit. It's something that he designed before UA. In fact, he's always thought about it. However, it's all old. And today, they accomplished his dream. And he simply revealed himself because he didn't want Hatsume to die. He didn't want Mei to die. Now, with that being said, David, he does actually sit down with Midoriya and begin to explain what he did, confessing his sin. He created a quirk technology for All Might. He believes that it can enhance his quirk and help him protect people. All Might is going to be here later on in the evening, along with his new successor to One for All. Now, Midoriya already knows about that, saying that he's aware. His friend Bakugo Katsuki is the successor. And what else about that? Well, the original reason why they're coming here is because of a piece of technology my daughter has created. Giving the explanation about that. Now, with that being said, David does agree to keep Midori's secret as to why he's here. Now, with that out of the way, I do hope you guys enjoyed, and have an amazing night. Catch you guys in the next part.